Welcome to this episode, Texas E36 Garage. We have a special surprise. One of our sponsors for the channel is Maxpeedingrods. They've been a sponsor since day one on this car. So we have their rear control arms, we have control arm bushings from them, we have a bunch of stuff that we have installed over the years on this car, and what they've sent us now is kind of awesome. So let's take a look at it. So what we have is a full set of Maxpeedingrod coilovers for the E36 M3. We are going to install this full set, review and test how their new T7 coilovers work on the E36 M3. So far, from what I've seen, from what the very first set of coilovers I got from Maxpeedingrods to this set, the quality of this set and the finish on the actual housing is incredible. I don't know how they perform yet, but this is a fantastic set. The welds look good. All our control arm and our sway bar link markup, bolt up, they all look good. Look like we have a ton of adjustment on these front and rear, so it's gonna be actually kind of a nice set to see what we can do. You know, we do have BC coilovers on here now, BRs. They are about 8 years old now. They've been good for those 8 years, and as you guys know, we had bags on top of these coilovers. We've done everything under the world with these coilovers, so it is time to upgrade and see what Maxpeedingrod T7s have for us and see how they actually perform. See the kind of adjustment we have to see. You know, as you can see how it sits right now, is kind of where we want them to sit. We'll see if the T7s get us there. Not sure if they will, but I'm willing to find out how low they actually go, how well they ride at that height, and we'll go from there and kind of figure out what we got. But let's go through these coilovers and let's go through the specs, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about them. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this coilover. I know a bunch of you guys hear Maxpeedingrod and you're like, China crap, broken welds, leaking shocks, poor ride quality, all of the things you've seen all over the internet. And looking at this coilover from, if you guys remember in a past video, we've gotten another set of Maxpeedingrod coilovers before, and they were not this quality. These shocks here are 24-way adjustable. So up here we have our same adjustments that we have on our BC. Who knows if they're the same quality of dampeners, but when we go to install in our install video, I'll pull off a BC and we'll put these side by side with each other and do a side by side comparison of the BCs to the Maxpeedingrods. So let's start with the welds. If you guys can see, these welds appear to be a lot better than previous models of these coilovers. These welds look to be decent. Does that mean they're actually decent? I don't know. They appear to be. They look like they've penetrated. If you look, I don't know if you can see inside. So this shock compared to the first set of coilovers from Maxpeedingrod we got, this is a twin tube. So this tube is separate from the actual shock. So this is threaded and the actual dampener threads into the shock body. Same kind of design that BC has. That allows you to see in here, and you can see that the welds have penetrated the actual housing. That right there is a little bit of an indication that they've taken a little bit different step than their original coilovers that we got from them, and have actually, you know, kind of taken an idea and upgraded it. You know, welds could still be crappy, but we won't know till we get it installed and start beating on these. Another thing is they got the pillow ball mount up top. That was different. The pillow ball that they had before was real cheap, like real cheap. You could take this bolt off and look, and you could tell that it was cheap. This would move so much easier. This takes some force to move, like it should. In previous models, they've been super easy and super floppy to move around, and the quality just wasn't there. Camber plate looks like any kind of aluminum camber plate. I don't think you really can screw that up. That looks like it's machined well. You know, the collars, they look well. The shock body looks like an aluminum shock body. Pretty much you can't really, well, you can cheap out on that, but these look quality. We'll see once we start adjusting and wrenching on them how they actually bind up, or they don't bind up, or they start, you know, seizing or whatever. So we'll have to look at that when we get into the shock. You know, for this set we have the fronts are 9K, the rear are 11K springs. Granted, I have 11K and 13K on, no, I have 12K and 15K on the car right now. These are a little softer spring. I'm curious how they actually perform and how they actually rebound and see how our ride is. But overall, the quality of this, like from what I see on the outside, the quality is is there. Top hats, these bolts will look a little cheap and the nuts look a little cheap. So we may upgrade the bolts. These look like they'll strip out pretty easily, but we'll see. That's what we're here for, is to test these out and see how a budget coilover works. But that's what this is for. It's for you guys to see if this is something that you could bolt on for your weekend racer at a budget coilover and, you know, take it to the track or street drive it and just for the lows. But we'll see. So let's jump to the rear. The rear is also a twin tube design. So this thread threads into the tube so that if, you know, say this breaks and it snaps for some reason, you can always replace just the bottom and not have to replace the whole dampener, which is a little bit different than their old design. Their old design was a single tube, and if you broke this, you had to buy a whole new shop. This is beefy. I'll measure what the BC thickness is to this thickness, but I can tell you right now that this thickness here is bigger than the BCs. You know, is that weld though that holds our eyelet on with our bushing, is that good? Nah, we don't know. You know, I've seen them fail right there before on their previous coilovers, but we'll see what that holds. The bushing looks, you know, like a generic rubber bushing. Nothing special there. You know, if you look, you have your rubber bump stop, you have your replaceable insert, you have your rubber tube, dust shield protector. Looking at our rear mount, the rear mount looks, you know, decent. Aluminum, well made. You know, again, the bolts look kind of cheap. You know, and we'll see how those bolt up and hold up. They look like they're 10.9, so I don't know if that's actually true or not. These are as well 24-way adjustable in the rear. We'll see once we get these installed and running if they're actually, you know, good dampening and whatnot. But overall, the rear shock and the front shock seem decent quality. You know, the collars are aluminum collars and stuff, so I know that they seize up from time to time. The rear collars here for the rear spring, which I don't think we use the rear collars on the BCs anymore just to get us our height that we need, but we'll see what these springs and collars come up with height wise, because once we install, we'll of course do an install video and we'll actually get it set and adjust the heights and everything, and then we'll take it for a drive to see how it actually performs. But these seem like they're decently made. I like the finish on them. They seem good. We'll see. You know, I don't know how, you know, machining looks good and style looks good. Material, that's really what it comes down to, I guess, on these rear, I guess on all the collars and adjusters, is the material that you use. If it fails, if it breaks, if it, you know, if we bind on it, will it, you know, bind up? Because I know there's different types of aluminum. Our rear spring looks, you know, like a spring. You know, the ends kind of look cheaply cut, like they, you know, didn't finish off cutting the spring. If you notice, doesn't look like they cut that very well before they they coated them. You know, looks like they might have just been like, boop, cut it and did it, but you know, we'll see how these actually perform. I have some up on the shelf somewhere. I have some Ibach rear springs, lowering springs. We can compare these to those to see kind of, the thickness looks good, but you know, the actual coil and stuff, that's all again depending on the material that was used. But the coating's nice, the finish is nice. You know, back to the fronts, overall the powder coating on these is a nice finish. You know, they used to be bright yellow, and I was not a fan of the bright yellow, but this black and gray combo is actually fairly nice. You know, the T7 logo and everything, the actual mounting pad looks thick enough, but we'll see how that actually holds up and performs. But like you can see, all the welds pretty much penetrated in. You know, we'll see how this all bolts up and actually fits and looks. So, but that, guys, is our unboxing video for the Maxpeedingrods T7 coilovers. You know, they're 24-way adjustable, 9K springs in the front, 11K in the rear, adjustable up to 3 inches. We'll see where that gives us ride height, and if that's a desirable ride height, if we, you know, bottom them out and run them. But as far as overall quality, these are a lot better than the previous set that I received from them. These actually, you know, they look the part physically. How they perform, we will see. And how they install, because I know they had previously, there's some, you know, fitment issues and stuff, but these look pretty spot on. So come back for the install video and we'll see how these go on, and then come back for the performance video and watch us rag on this car and put these to the test, guys. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions or want any up close pictures, let me know, and I'll try to do my best to help you guys out with these and answer any questions that I can.